So imagine 8 million young Indians entering the job market every year, only to find 81% of urban workers demanding employment guarantees. I am Krithi from Section F, and today we are confronting India's silent crisis jobless growth. While our GDP grew at 7.8% last quarter, employment grew at just 1.4%. This isn't an anomaly, it's a 15-year trend where 1% GDP growth now creates 70% fewer jobs than in the 2000s. Our manufacturing sector tells this story the best. Despite contributing 17% to GDP, it employs only 12% of workers. Why? Because archaic labor laws like the Industrial Disputes Act is making firing even one worker from factories with 100 plus employees a legal nightmare. And the result? Companies stay small. 73% of Indian manufacturers have less than 10 workers, and they're trapped in low productivity limbo. Meanwhile, automation is accelerating. The World Bank warns India risks losing 69% of current manufacturing jobs to AI by 2030 if we don't act. This isn't our first economic crossroad. The 1991 reforms unleashed our service sector but left manufacturing behind. Today, Vietnam exports more electronics than India, while our manufacturing exports stagnate at 16% of GDP. Vietnam is exporting more. The present government initiated labor codes in 2020, but only 4 states implemented them, and industries have remained shackled. If we compare this to Bangladesh, their garment exports grew 240% since 2010 by easing labor norms, while ours grew just 41%. So, here's our three-part solution. 1. Urban Employment Guarantee. Expanding MGNREGA to cities. This is modeled on Kerala's pilot, providing 100 days work to 50,000 urban poor people. National rollout by 2026 could create 12 million jobs. Next, labor law modernization. Adopting the Rajasthan's model, allowing firing up to 300 workers with severance pay, will boost factory investments by 18% in trial states. Exporting infrastructure push. Investing $50 billion via PPPs in ports and logistics. When Gujarat upgraded Mundra port, exports surged 22% in 3 years. Imagine if this is replicated nationwide, what an impact it would create. But there are also roadblocks, like fiscal limits. Our debt to GDP ratio has hit 82% in 2024, so we have to restrict spending. Skill gaps. Only 5% of our workforce has formal vocational training. If we compare it to Germany, it is 75% there. Political will. Farm unions blocked 2021 labor reforms in Punjab, fearing industrial land grabs. So, breaking this wall needs bold compromises. Perhaps diverting 1% of the 70 billion annual food subsidy to urban job schemes. So, in conclusion, we stand at a tipping point. With 52% of Indians under 30, we have just 5 years to implement these reforms before demographic dividend becomes disaster. The 2020 labor codes await ratification. The urban jobs blueprint is ready. What's needed now is political courage to match our economic ambitions. Because ultimately, jobs aren't just statistics, they are 8 million dreams waiting to be realized every single year.